Well, hello there, gorgeous business owner. Welcome back to another episode of Business Straight Up, the podcast and place to be if you want to make a living doing what you love. Today's episode is going to be all about where the heck I have been for the last month and why do you care? You may be asking. Well, other than a potential undying love for myself, just kidding. I want you to know that things happen in life and that we all have to go through seasons of our life that may be either planned or unexpected, where we have to kind of change things up in our business. So I am going to walk you through 4 things that you need to know when you're running your business during a challenging season in your life. Basically, when shit hits the fan and things are going not as you had hoped or expected, what the hell do you do? How do you run a business in that? Because it happens. It's going to happen to you. If it hasn't yet, it will in the future. And May was that month for me. So I'm going to walk you through 4 things you must know when it comes to running your business during a challenging season in your life. That is today's episode, and I am so excited to walk you through this. Even if you're not going through it right now, tuck it away for future reference so that you know, because you can get through it and you will be so much stronger on the other side. You will kick ass and grow your business even more. Let's jump in. Hey there, awesome people. I am Brooke Summer, and you are listening to Business Straight Up, the podcast for creative entrepreneurs to learn, connect, grow, and build the business and life that they dream of. Welcome, let's get going and dive right in. Hello, amazing business owners, bosses, and queens. Welcome back to the Business Straight Up podcast, the place to be if you want to be able to market your business and run it smarter, not harder, so you can actually make a living doing what you love. It's been a while since I've introduced myself, and since we're coming back from a little bit of a break, now's the time, right? I am your host, Brooke Summer. I've been running a successful boudoir studio for 12 years now, and I teach creative business owners and photographers the marketing skills they need to run a profitable and sustainable business. Yes, I believe you deserve to not only run a business, but to make money doing so that you can create wealth and independence for yourself and your family. Boom. Controversial right off the bat, right? I am so excited for episode 69. Welcome. I have put this off because it wasn't perfect. Something we're going to talk about in a few, but I gave up putting it off because done is better than perfect. Even if my voice is a little rough and my hair hasn't dried yet, we're doing this. And if you're listening to this in an audio format, welcome. You can't see my amazing t-shirt, which is one of my favorites. It says Friday is my second favorite F word. It is one of my favorite t-shirts to wear when I'm traveling because it disarms people a lot. Because I've had so many questions on, well, what is your favorite F word? And then I kind of have to judge my audience and decide what I'm going to say. For some people, if it's a little old lady, I'll say fabulous. For some people, I'll say F word. I have to be a little careful on podcasts, but welcome. So if you're listening in audio, there is a video version of this episode as well. You do not need to see it. I'm not going to show you anything amazing, but if you're listening on YouTube, welcome as well. So it's really fitting that this episode is episode 69 because I have the sense of humor of a 14-year-old boy, and that makes me snicker. Yes, if there's innuendo at all, I will not just not ignore it, but I will laugh, take full advantage of it, like the Kool-Aid man crashing through the wall. So where the heck have I been? Loaded question. I know. If you're in my Facebook group, which you can access at businessstraightup.com/community, you'll know that life has been a little crazy for me lately. In this episode, I wanted to share where I've been and why the podcast had a little break, but even more importantly, I'm going to share 4 things that I really want you to know when outside circumstances affect you and your business, and you feel like you're freaking the F out. Scheduling your days as a CEO. When everything goes awry, what the heck do you do? So we all know that one of the best parts of running your own business is that you get to make your own schedule, right? You get to design your schedule so that your business is a part of your life instead of your life being a part of your business. It can be both a blessing and a curse. I've done episodes on this before, so if you want to hear more about creating your own schedule, especially with kids, check out businessstraightup.com/043 and businessstraightup.com/044 for more information on how our schedule runs usually every day. Those were also done kind of in the light of quarantine and all of that good stuff. So it'll give you some more information because that was absolutely chaos and how we handled it. In those episodes, I talk about our schedule, what changed with quarantine, what we had before that, what we had when my son was in school full time, everything that went down in 2020. And it was definitely chaos. Through all of that, though, we got into a rhythm that was imperfect, but worked beautifully. Then in May of 2021, yes, last month, craziness happened again. This time it was in the form of 2 surgeries. For anyone that doesn't know, my kids are primarily homeschooled and spend 2 days a week with grandparents. Well, at the end of April, both of the matriarchs of our family, my mom and my mother-in-law, had hip replacement surgeries within 3 days of each other, which meant our schedule changed significantly. They needed to recover and needed a little bit of help every once in a while. And this also completely wiped out childcare for my 2 children, even on days when I already had client sessions already scheduled. My mom's surgery was originally planned in April, so I intentionally kept client sessions pretty light for April, but it had to be rescheduled for a time when client sessions were not light. Now, as a reminder, yes, I run this podcast. I do mentoring. I teach other photographers and creatives. However, I am still a working photographer. I still work with clients. I still run my studio. So I have 2 businesses on my plate at all times. Okay. So to have this change happen with a couple of weeks' notice was a little chaotic. I had big plans for May, plans that pretty much didn't happen at all, which hurt my pride a little bit because May is typically a month of action for me. Okay. I want to have time off in the summer when my kids are off of school. So May is when I get things set up for the summer so that I'm not constantly on for my work all summer long, so that I can really enjoy my kids and my time with them. May is traditionally for me a boss month. I do a lot of sessions, I get a lot of things set up, and this year it turned into a maintain month, which is where I'm still doing my work, but I'm still just kind of maintaining what I'm doing. So why am I telling you this? Because my schedule was completely thrown to the wind again. My kids had end of year school activities for enrichment, which I had about 3 days notice on. So yay for that. Lack of communication. Thanks, school, which meant assemblies, figuring out transcripts, because my son will be a senior next year and we have to do his transcript as a homeschool parent. So that can get kind of chaotic figuring out the credits and the grades and where everything goes. He had finals and he kind of freaked out a little bit with his finals, and supporting him was a priority for me. He was stressed. He had college classes at 16 years old. He had college classes while he's in high school. And so we had to figure that out. And we had to get enrolled for next year, transferring schools for my youngest so that she can attend next year full time. Yay! And more school stuff. It was just a lot. Add to that my assistant's entire family getting really sick for a while and needing her help. And May was pretty much shot. It was done. Dead. Just done. This is why I've been absent from the podcast, because in all of this, I had to prioritize on the fly while also taking care of myself. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I am not telling you this to complain. I am so grateful for the way that I have designed things to be fully present with my kids, and I'm really proud of that. And I run 2 successful businesses, and I still am fully present with my kids. I know how blessed we are, and I don't take any of that lightly. Even in the best of times, things can get really overwhelming. So when May's schedule was completely thrown to the wind, it was definitely challenging. With all of this being said, I have 4 things that I really, 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 really one more really for good measure, want you to hear in all of this. Running a business is not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it, and they're not. By choosing to run a business, you are setting yourself apart because you are a queen and a boss that can handle this, and handle it you must, girlfriend. You got this. You can do this. And when life brings you a hurricane of craziness, you straighten your crown and you figure it the F out. So how do you do that? What does that even look like? Let's talk about 4 things you must know when it comes to running your business during a challenging season in your life, because they're going to come up. It's just life. That's the way it works. So number 1, you need to take care of yourself first. This is so contrary to everything that our culture tells us, right? Moms are supposed to sacrifice everything. You go to the store for Mother's Day and all the cards say, Mom, thanks for sacrificing for me. And that's beautiful. And we all do that for our kids. But guess what? You cannot take care of everyone else leaving yourself empty. It's not going to work for long. Constantly being on for my kids is not easy for me. Now, don't get me wrong. Being a mother is one of the greatest joys of my life, truly. And you know, I don't throw those words around lightly. I don't say things like life-changing and epic all the time, like a lot of people do. These humans that have been given to me are an amazing blessing, and I love them more than I can say. I also know that they drive me absolutely batty at times, and that constantly being on every single day for them is not easy for me. I know that there are some moms that are stay-at-home moms to their core, and I am not one of them. Showing my kids that taking care of themselves and asking for time to recharge when they need it is not only showing my kids that taking care of themselves and asking for time to recharge when they need it is something that is not only something to not be ashamed of, but it's a huge win. I want to be showing them that and not just telling them that. And I have spent some time this past month thinking about it and talking with my kids about it, recharging their energy when they need to. We can't always control what's happening around us. There will be times of chaos and craziness, times with lots of demands on their time, times with things they need to do that seem never ending. My daughter is too young to really understand this yet, but she's starting to learn. For my son, who we are pretty sure has ADHD, like his mama, but he can't be medicated, and I choose not to be, but he can be medicated, long story. This skill is absolutely imperative. He shuts down when he gets overwhelmed, and I know this pattern because I've done it in my own life too, and I still see it. Learning to move through the hard because we can do hard things has been absolutely essential for him. And it's absolutely imperative for me too. What if you didn't have to worry about writing emails to your list for the next 6 months and maybe even a year? Yes, it's true. It's finally here. My students have been asking me for this for years, and I have heard you, and these templates are finally available. Engaging Emails Done is a quick workshop and template bundle to help you harness the power of email marketing to grow your business. You can set it and forget it and actually book more clients. If you're like, Brooke, I am so in, where do I grab these? Head on over to businessstraightup.com/emailsdone to grab this special limited bundle. If you want to hear a little more, I feel you. I like details too. These templates are designed to be done for you to set up several months of emails in just an hour. Plus, I've recorded several how-to videos to walk you through the technical steps for several different email service providers if you're not sure how to customize and schedule them. Engaging Emails Done has not only a quickie email marketing 101 how-to if you're starting from scratch, but it includes a minimum of 12 email templates that you can schedule ahead of time to take something off of that never-ending to-do list so you can focus on what you love most. Side note, I did say a minimum of 12 because I keep thinking of things to add, so you might even get more than 12. These are brand new. I've never offered something like this before, so grab your email templates plus Email Marketing 101 plus tech tutorials before the price goes up. Grab these templates, tutorials, and help all at businessstraightup.com/emails done. Again, that's businessstraightup.com/emails done. In May, just last month, like yesterday was the end of May, this meant taking some time away from the podcast for a bit. Usually I would have had my assistant share some of the episodes that we have already recorded so that we could maintain consistency and keep going. But with her out too, that just wasn't possible. I'm looking at options for podcast management to prevent this in the future. But for right now, taking a few weeks off from the podcast became something that wasn't avoidable. So number one, you need to take care of yourself first. Number two, imperfection is not the end of the world. And I am saying this to you showing up with my hair that is still wet from my shower, with a t-shirt and a mess behind me in my office. And can I just tell you how much it bothered me to see that break in the podcast? I really wanted to go consistently every week this year. I had planned on doing so, and it really, really bothered me. I was not happy. I literally had to spend some time journaling on this and letting it go because I am a recovering perfectionist. But guess what? It's not like I didn't do anything. I just had to choose my activities very carefully. I had to be there first and foremost for my kids and family. And then I had to decide what could be put on the back burner for a little bit, not permanently, because y'all know I love my podcasting. I really love it. But for this season in my life, for this month in this year, it had to be put on the back burner. And it's okay that it's not perfect. It's okay that I don't have episodes on those dates. I know this intellectually. I know this in my brain, but it still makes my heart hurt a little bit. And I have to keep reminding myself that it is okay. And you know what? People ask me about my podcast. They got used to every week. And I love that. And I'm so grateful, you guys. I love you. Thank you to all my listeners. They asked me if I was shutting it down. And when I explained that I just needed to focus on my family and clients right now, they totally understood. No one was nasty. Again, I'm still a working photographer. I can't just shut down client sessions because I'm overwhelmed. Running a business doesn't work that way. I still have to maintain my own energy, not just for myself and my family, but for my clients. So I chose imperfection in my podcast for a little bit to redirect my energy where it needed to go. One of my business coaches tells me all the time, I don't know if we'll just use the word F's. You only have so many F's to give every day. You have a finite number of F's. You have to choose where you spend those F's very carefully. And I've taught my son this. I am constantly telling myself this. Is this worth one of my F's today? And if it's not, then we're going to let it go. We have to let go of perfect. It doesn't exist. And holding on to it will not only drain you emotionally and mentally, but it can also cause serious health problems. Number two, imperfection is not the end of the world. Number three, figure out your minimum viable option for consistency. I've shared before that I had to take care of myself first, then my family, then my clients and students. I had to make some choices, right? Sometimes in your business, you'll have to make some choices because of circumstances that are outside of yourself and things that you can't control. You may not be able to control the circumstances, but you can always control your response. Two people I love had surgery. Childcare was wiped out. Family members needed more from me. I had to figure out what is the minimum viable option to maintain a little bit of consistency in both of my businesses. So that became my client work on the photography side and direct connections with my students in Business Straight Up. I couldn't just not work during this time, especially with my team out too. Normally I would have them take care of stuff, but she was gone as well. I could keep a little bit going though, so that I could focus on the things I needed to focus on by figuring out the minimum viable option. In my photography business, this is what this looked like. Kicking ass in client sessions, client communication, order fulfillment, while automating other things and not doing a ton of marketing that wasn't already automated. I had to scale back a little bit. In Business Straight Up, this looked like doing just the Tip Tuesdays consistently, which if you're not watching this, why the heck not? It's my live video series where I help with issues that are coming up, give advice, look at websites, and basically just help you through the things that come up in your business every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time in the community at businessstraightup.com/community. This became my main way to connect with my students because it's a two-way conversation and I could help directly with the people showing up. Again, minimum viable option. Are either of these minimum options ideal? No. Am I going to grow exponentially from just doing the minimum? No. It's not how I like to run my business, but guess what? Sometimes there are seasons in life that call for that, and this was one of them. I figured it out, I made it work, and kicked ass in the process. So, number 3, figure out your minimum viable option to maintain some consistency. And finally, number 4, batch, automate, and schedule that shit. And I'm trying really hard not to swear here, but I guess we have the sweary shirt on. So we're just going to run with it. You guys, I cannot tell you this enough. I just talked about this in my Just the Tip Tuesday this week. Batching and automation were an absolute lifesaver during this time for me. I already had marketing planned and scheduled. I already had social media scheduled and written out because sometimes late at night, that's all my brain could handle. Commenting on social posts and engaging in conversation that had already been planned out. On a regular day, remembering every post that I want to write and everything I want to share is so difficult. I have so many things that I want to tell you because I believe so strongly in women owning their businesses so they can build wealth and independence for themselves and their families. And guys, I see you too. You are welcome here too. On a regular day, in the best of circumstances, it can be overwhelming, and it often is. So when you add in the craziness from May, yeah, you can imagine. Was it impossible? No, I figured it out because I'm a boss and that's what we do. But it doesn't mean it's easy. Batching my work ahead of time means that when I'm not able to put my full attention in all of the things that I usually do, I can still have things that are running without me. Usually the podcast would have been one of those, but that wasn't possible without my team, and she was out as well. And family is a core value for me. So it's really important that she had that option to take care of her family as well. There isn't a software that can automate show notes and transcripts and images yet, at least not that I know of. If you know of one, let me know. But social posts, marketing for photography, SEO, emails, so many things can be batched ahead of time though. And during the best of times when you are on point and your business game is 100%, it gives you more brain power to focus on the things that only you can do, like creating. During times when life is a tornado swirling around you and you're trying not to get swept away in the chaos, having those things automated can be a part of your minimum viable option to maintain at least a little bit of consistency. Most of my clients and students had no idea what was going on for me in May. It was crazy. May was crazy. But most people didn't know because they still saw that consistency because it was scheduled ahead of time. Having these systems and habits in place for your business when things are running wonderfully means that when things are not so wonderful, you aren't completely stalled and stressed out. So what does this really look like? It means spending a few hours in one day to write out all of your welcome emails for clients who are confirmed so that you can onboard them properly and you don't have to do it manually. This could also mean spending a few hours to schedule your social or blog posts or emails out for a month so that if you have a crazy week, you still have that consistency where it matters most. Spending time typing out or using my templates because, hey, shopwithbrooke.com basically has this stuff all prepared for you. You can spend time typing this all out ahead of time, copying and pasting the templates so that you can reach out to people who have contacted you so that you can follow up with them. Really knowing and designing your ideal client journey so that you can pick out the pieces you can automate to work smarter and not harder. Have you spent the time on that? Because it's important. It matters. So many people are just flying by the seat of their pants, and I get it. I did it too. And I'm telling you right now, I saved myself a world of hurt and time and headaches when I started putting into place the habits and structure that my business needed, even though I didn't think it was necessary. These things are lifesavers day to day in your business, and even more so when outside circumstances are changing things and you can't focus entirely like you want to. These things are crazy important. If you have questions on that, please reach out. I'm so happy to help you on that. I know how much it has saved me many times over, And I would love to help you with that. So number 4, again, was batch, automate, and schedule that shit ahead of time. So just to recap, 4 things that I really want you to know when chaos hits in your life and you still have a business to run and you can't just disappear. Number 1, take care of yourself first. Your energy matters and you can't serve others, like your family, your friends, your clients, or students completely if you are entirely drained and not showing up as your best self. Number 2, imperfection is not the end of the world. Yes, integrity matters, but if something unexpected happens, you can handle it and it will all work out, even if it's imperfect. Number 3, figure out the minimum viable option for consistency. What is it that you must do while craziness is happening to make sure things are taken care of, even if it's not on the scale you want it to be happening? Number 4, batch, automate, and schedule that shit. Get systems and habits into place before things get crazy so they can help you when you need it most. Life happens, y'all, even for the people who are most organized and plan ahead. I may or may not plan out entire seasons in my life because I don't want to miss these moments with my kids. I'm extremely aware of the temporary nature of their time in my home. I'm very, very, very deliberate with my time. But even for me, life happens. Things come up that I can't control. I can, however, control my response, and in doing so, make sure that I'm taking care of myself, my family, my clients, and my students. Thank you so much for listening today or watching if you're on YouTube. And thank you for your patience in getting the podcast back up and filled with great content. I appreciate you all so much. I know that I attract the most amazing bosses who are not only ambitious and determined, but are kind and encouraging and lift each other up. Queens, help fix each other's crowns. And for any guys listening, I see you. I'm happy to have you here too. We're happy to help with your crown too. I am truly honored that you pressed play and spent this time with me. If you are someone that loves to help other people and you know someone who can use this information, maybe they have a little bit of chaos in their life right now, please forward this episode over to them. If you are like, holy moly, Brooke, this content was amazing, how can I thank you? I got you. I have a way that you can thank me. Can you head on over to iTunes and leave a review? Yes, I know there are other platforms to consume podcasts on, but iTunes continues to be the one that everyone looks at. I don't even use iTunes to listen myself, but it is important. I know it seems small. It takes a few minutes, but those reviews help me to know exactly what you need help with, how I can better serve you, and it helps us to get amazing guests. So hit pause now, leave a review. If you screenshot your review before hitting submit, email it over to hello@businessstraightup.com. I'll send you a free gift. So please, please, please leave those reviews so we can continue kicking ass with great content every week. Thank you again to all of the bosses and queens listening. Take what you've heard, come on over to the community and let me know what you think. Did you love this episode? What was your biggest takeaway or aha moment? You can find us in our little corner of Facebook, which I've referenced a few times because you should be in there at businessstraightup.com/community. Keep moving forward through all of the challenges and chaos that may come up. Take care of yourself in overwhelming seasons because the world needs your special light. You have something amazing that you are supposed to be doing, even if it's small. I can't wait to see what you do with your business and how you impact the world. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening to Business Straight Up. I'm so glad that you could join us today. Check out the show notes for this and all of the episodes at businessstraightupodcast.com. And I can't wait to talk with you again. Have a great day.